And hello again, everyone. I apologize if the coughing comes back right now, which is very annoying. But we are starting in on a short and fun little art stream. Namely, that pen is too big. Today, I'm working on some more backgrounds for Eldritchrune, specifically Eldritrune's ending. Because, oh goodness, there is still a long, long way to go on that. So we'll just try and make what progress we can. And again, this is always easier to do in the Storyboard Pro because I can do, as you can see, these straight lines pretty easily. So I'll be doing it in that. Anyways, if you join me, hope that your Sunday's going well so far. I have moved the crickets to the bathroom because they are being very noisy. Although, unfortunately, a bunch of them died in the process of getting to me, I think because it was too cold. But I lost a good, half the batch. That's kind of frustrating. We'll see how long these ones last. The ones that are there are very noisy, so we have removed them. Whew. So now that I've finished the other Deltarune comic I was doing, which was the one with Garrison and Alvin, I can get back to a bit more Eldritchrune stuff, along with work and all that business. I was in the middle of the Jevil battle, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to stop so I can finish this other thing. But I'll get back to that soon. I gotta tackle some other things like Patreon, and Anthrofractal, and just so much stuff. Luckily, my wrist has been doing pretty okay, so yay! Let's hope that keeps up. Hello, thank you for coming. Hope your Sunday is going well so far. I probably could have stood to sleep in a little more because I got back late last night because I went out with some friends for karaoke for a friend's birthday. Although I did not sing myself because I'm nervous. Maybe another time I'll get up the chutzpah to sing in public. I'll do that in my car plenty. But then that's just me. Nobody cares if I sound bad. I mean, I don't really care if my friends don't sound perfect either. My friends are good, so I don't know why I'm hung up about it. That's just how it is, I guess. That's just how it be. Oh boy. 2 streams at once, and also Masochist Seed sounds, challenging, I would say. I don't know how that works, but with the title it sounds challenging. Of course, I probably need to play on FF6 first, which I have not done. At this point, I probably need I don't know, some kind of emulator for it. I've heard 6 is good. I feel like there's this kind of tension between people whose favorite FF is 6 and those whose favorite FF is 7. Depending on various factors. I've still got so much stuff to play. Too much. Too much to do. I never played 6 or 7. Technically, the first one I played was 9, but I didn't finish it. But the first FF I finished was 10. And I have a sneaking suspicion that whatever you did first is going to be your favorite, because I have a great fondness for 10. I like the soundtrack for it, all that stuff. But I also really do enjoy 9. 9 is extremely good. And I also... Ugh. Stupid cough. Won't go away. It's very annoying. But I also really did enjoy 12, although 12 was kind of a weird diversion from the formula, or at least how they were doing stuff previously. Can't believe I had the time to like go around all of 12 and do like all of the side quests and secret bosses and all that stuff, including that one boss that literally takes like 10 hours to just whittle down because it has like 2 million HP or something like that, or 10 million, I don't remember what it was. It was kind of ridiculous. Was interesting. 12 is very much a lot of, you will be doing a lot of walking from place to place. We made a really, really, really big world and you're going to see every dang inch of it. That's a walking sim. No, I do like 12. But a lot of that game is just getting from place to place. And I also played 13, which was fine. I didn't do any of the sequels or DLC or whatever. I remember that game was like coming out when I was, good grief, what was it, like 2007, 2008? Good grief. That's forever ago. And that's not okay. But yeah, I haven't played 14 or 15 or 16 for that matter. Yeah, I didn't play the Zodiac Age version of 12, which I guess has some extra stuff in it. No, I tried to get all of the espers. What is it? What are the summons? I forget what they're called in 12. It's not Aeons, because that's 10. Yeah, I haven't heard very good things about 15. Seems to have had a troubled production. Which that can be really hard to get through. I would like to try some of the older ones, like, you know, 1 through 5, although I've heard that 2 in particular is pretty difficult to play. I haven't played 8 either. I've basically played 9, 10, 12, and 13. But I haven't really played... Oh, I've also played some side ones, like I almost finished Crisis Core and what are some other ones? I really liked Theater Rhythm. I like rhythm games, though. This is somewhere in Hometown. This is going to be a lot of destroyed buildings in these BGs, because now the beasts are here to go on a rampage. And get the peoples and nom nom them. I like how the most recent big colored comic I finished was all about, you know, Father Alvin and trying to get into more of his character and stuff. And then in this one, he just gets eaten by Birdley. Spoilers. Sorry, Alvin. Don't make it. Coloring always is what takes the longest, at least for me. Even doing these things. Like with the monochrome instead of actual full color. It's pretty extensive. I'm sure you will like it. It is hard to not like homemade gifts. You're like, oh my gosh, this was made just for me. Unless you're in a, like, a Christmas story situation, I guess. Man, I guess I'll have to watch some Christmas Story this year. I'm sure there's some channel that has it on, like, 24/7. Honestly, I've kind of been more feeling like I want a Lord of the Rings rewatch. I'm feeling Lord of the Ringsy. And I haven't watched Sword Art Online either. I saw, like, I came in on part of it. My friend was watching for a review that they were doing, and I wasn't super impressed with what I saw. Some questionable choices there. But, you know, what do I know? Alright, that's our first one. Alright, we're gonna have to do some funky stuff with the fire and stuff here. We'll do that one on a separate layer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dot Hat came first, if I recall correctly. Then again, I guess there's kind of a whole genre of, I mean, isekai is more than just that, but in particular, I've been sucked into a MMO, fantasy MMO. Wasn't there a really funny one? A really funny isekai where, like, I haven't seen this, but it's basically like somebody gets sucked into a video game, isekai or an MMO, whatever, but they're a speedrunner. So they're basically just trained to get through the story as fast as possible, and they start glitching through, like, everything, or, like, you know, running around the world with no clothes on because that reduces your speed, and just like that to me is very funny. Taking advantage of the whole, you're supposed to be trapped in a video game, you know, thing, but you're approaching it from a totally different perspective. Like, I would read that. That's funny. And I remember when, like, in the Kingdom Hearts days, like, if you wanted your OC to interact with Riku and all them silly boys, you could have your character get sucked into the PS2. Oh my goodness, I'm in the world of Kingdom Hearts. I have to reincarnate as a slime. It's gotta be another genre. Like, isn't there another one of those where, I guess the title is called So I'm a Spider, So What? And it's like isekai, but the person ended up as like a giant spider. I'm a low-level enemy. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. We are doing backgrounds today. Ooh, editing. I still need to get some editing software. I feel like that will be useful in coming times. I just have to narrow down what would be good and also not too expensive if I could pay for it. The spider is so cute. Yay for cute spiders. Spiders are neat, although I do not appreciate it when they're like, hello, I have made my home in your bathtub. And I'm like, you cannot do that. That is not allowed. Be gone, please. Please make your home somewhere out of sight and eat the bugs from coming in. Did have a very helpful spider once, where in at my old room in my parents' house, I was struck with an invasion of termites, and it was like at the point in the termite life cycle where all the adults are swarming to go find a new place to roost, and they're all coming into my room. So the adult ones are like kind of these big clumsy guys with wings, but they can't really fly well. But they were just like everywhere in my room because they were swarming, and they were coming in through a patio door that I could not close all the way. That was just how it was. Like, there's a little crack in it. And a very, enterprising spider basically realized, wow, look at all this food coming in through this crack in the wall, or this crack in the door. I'm just going to spin a big web here. And that web was just stuffed full of termites. It was eaten good. I was like, thank you for your service, spider. My vacuum can only do so much. I think that door finally got fixed. At least I hope so. Yeah, I think the door got fixed. I had to replace the door. Because, not being able to close your door and keep out a bunch of enterprising termites was bad. It was bad, actually. It was like one of these things where I stepped into my room and I saw like basically 2 bugs, and I'm like, I don't know what those are. They look pretty harmless because, they're kind of just spluttering around with their big dumb wings that come off easily. I'm like, whatever. Stupid bugs. And I work on my computer for like an hour or so, and I turn around. Instead of 2 bugs, there's now like 20 bugs, and I'm like, oh yay, for beating the masochist seed. Which sounds difficult. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a fireball here. I'm like, something is hitting this roof. I forget what it is. I'll find out when I get back to the roofs. I did these a while ago. These are roofs for part 3 out of 20. And I get, or rather, background cleans for part 3 out of 20. So I'm going to have to do roofs for part 4 eventually. Plus stuff like, so much left to do for these, so much. It's nice to be making progress, but there's so much left to do. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. We are working on cleaning up these backgrounds today. And I am lamenting giving myself 20 parts for Eldritchrune's ending. And being like, I have to draw all of this. Why did I do this to myself? So that's why we're spacing this out. It's going to take a very long time to finish. Good grief, by the time I finish, the characters are probably going to look all different. It's going to be weird. You're like, why do they look different between parts like 4 and 18? I'm like, sorry. It took me 2 years to finish drawing it. That's why. It's just what happens. Explosion. I hope so. I hope it'll be worth it. I hope people like the ending. I've done a lot of work on it. At this point, the ending itself just might be as long as like the rest of the comic I've done. Good grief. Although I still have more scenes to do, and I'm sure some other more ones will pop up after we get chapters 3 and 4. Which I hope that's soon, in 2025. I hope we get a Christmas newsletter that's like, hey, we have a date now. A release date. It'll be this time in 2025. I would appreciate that. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you guys like it so far. Definitely a lot of work. More than I was expecting. I'm like, I can't afford to take on another comic right now. I'll just do this, you know. Occasional art here and there. Nope. I can't resist. I don't know when that will be out, so cannot say. I would just like Deltarune to be out as soon as possible. At this point, because goodness gracious, it's been a while. Next spring? Okay. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get it like... We'll get Deltarune like January, February or something. I don't know. It feels like at this point it's entirely out of Toby's hands and it's just up to localization and console porting. And I'm not sure how long that'll take. And I guess also testing the game change feature, which they did a little bit of that already. So that'll be important for stuff like that. Oh man, good grief. It'd be insane if like the console porting and the localization took so long that you also finished Chapter 5. Because I know they're working on that in the meanwhile. It took so long. Nice. Nice, nice. Hopefully by the time chapters 3 and 4 come out, my cough will be gone. That would be excellent. One of those stupid lingering ones. And before 3 and 4 are out, I really want to do a replay of 1 and 2. And I'll probably do those on stream so we can do a full commentary while those are happening. But when I get to 3 and 4, I'm going to play those solo so that I don't get distracted by a stream while I'm, you know, experiencing the music, all that good stuff. I'll just go through it. Although I will record my reactions. At the very, very least. The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. We don't need more water. Anybody remember that song? I remember that song from like 2010. Good grief. Which they then changed into Badoof, Badoof, Badoof is on fire. That's another one done. Yay! Mostly fire. Mostly fire. This fire is mostly easy to draw. You just do a bunch of the crackly stuff. I don't think I've played any of the Tales of games. I know a lot of people like them, but I haven't done them myself. Oh, Trails. Not Tales, Trails. Now they need to come out with a Tales of, Trails of game. Confuse everybody. What are you talking about? Paper trails. I love everybody just like says it wrong because it's paper trail, but I've seen people say it as paper trails, which it's now, it's just paper trail. And sometimes they'll say it all as one word, like paper trails. I'm like, no, it's 2 words, paper trail. Nice. Then again, I was a little surprised by a lot of people came away from the Mightier Than the Sword comic with the idea that Alvin was the knight. And while I'm not adverse to that idea, I think you could do that pretty well, honestly. That was not my intention with that particular comic. But oh well. It's the reason why I like the Garrison and or Alvin thing is because there's honestly like a good amount of like evidence towards it. I think people are a little resistant because we just don't know that much about Alvin so far, and everything we know about Garrison is also kind of sketch or pretty slim pickings. But I think there's actually quite a few things you can point towards in terms of evidence for it. And I like the idea of Garrison Knight being him from, his soul attached to an object. Part of the reason why I decided to finally do a comic of it is because I don't really like Jaru's execution of that idea. It's like, oh, compelling evidence for that. That's really good. Wait, what do you mean his motivation is that? That doesn't make any sense. There's got to be better motivation for that. And then I think it was Melissa in my Discord server was like, mentioned the fountain pen thing, and I was like, everything just clicked into place with the fountain pen comparison. That's my headcanon until we learn otherwise, which I'm sure we'll learn otherwise soon enough. I've definitely been wrong in the past. But who knows, maybe something will be right. That would be pretty neat. Although I would absolutely flip my lid if it was the half-human Susie thing, because that one is just so ridiculous and out there. I think it could be a really cool motivation, but I would be extremely surprised if that actually came true. Even if I also think it's kind of a good explanation for what might be going on with Papyrus and Sans. Well, that would really freak out the fandom, though. That would throw things for a super duper looper. Super duper looper scooper. More fire. Maybe I should turn... Oh no, I need this off because I can't see the thing on. It's too dark. I can't see. I just think you could do some cool things with Darkner objects with a Lightner soul attached to them. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it is a headcanon for you. It was definitely a fun idea to explore. I still just call it a crack theory because no evidence for it, but really no evidence, or no evidence against it, but really no evidence for it either. It is extremely speculative and wild. That's why I really, really want to get more info on, like, human and monster history and how souls work in this universe, because, again, I feel like right now the evidence is pointing towards it's not the same as it is in Undertale. And I may need to take my stretch break here in just a bit. I'm super close to finishing this part. Not quite close enough. We still got a lot to do. Finish off this building at least. It's fun to speculate. I'm gonna find out, was I right? Was I wrong? Was I super duper wrong? Was I super duper right? I feel like usually the answer is you get some aspects right and some aspects super wrong. So it's all different interpretations. I was so wrong, Toby Fox will point and laugh at me, as is his right to do. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Please laugh at me. Okay. My one hope is that people, and I include myself in this, do not get so caught up in our own ideas of how we think things should go that when Toby does this thing, it's like, no, Toby did it wrong. Because it's not how I wanted it to be. And it's like, my dudes, my guys, it's his story. He can tell it how he wants. So it's good to keep perspective in that sense. I think this is a bit more of a risk when you have like a franchise with a full writing team, because every writer approaches, a story differently in a way. Even when you have like a writing team, people's different strengths and weaknesses shine out. Whereas with this, it seems like, much like a book, Toby is the sole author of it. Oh yeah, like criticisms are valid, of course. It's fine to criticize art. It's not like, you can't criticize it. Like, that would be silly. Nothing is perfect. There will definitely be flaws or things that were not thought of or not thought through well. But basically, I hope that people will, again, keep things in perspective and hopefully use some media literacy. Because goodness gracious, there's times where I'm like, y'all are so bad at analysis. You're so bad at it. Please. But I guess that's definitely going to be true of like a younger fandom. That can't be helped. Yeah. I have faith in this process. I am not worried about Deltarune's quality. I am certain that it will be quite good. Even if it's vastly different from what I or anybody else is guessing. Because, especially when you're making art from like a really personal place, it's really hard to go wrong there. And there will always be like some people who really do not like it when you go very personal like that. But I think that when you make anything that comes from a place that's really personal, you stand a much better chance of making something that really lasts and has a big impact on people. Hello, thank you for coming. I'm doing my stretches right now. And then I gotta get up and do a few more stretches and get water. And we'll continue on with the backgrounds. Ooh, plushy. Alright, I'll be right back with more stretch, more water, all that business. Alrighty, I return. And yes, that is true. If you don't like something how it happens in canon, that's what fanfiction's for. Ain't nobody gonna stop you there. Ooh. Thank you. I gotta keep stretching so that my wrists don't get hurted anymore. Mostly keep my shoulders and back in good condition. That seems to be the major thing with this. Ugh. This whole ending's gonna have so many elaborate backgrounds. It's a lot of backgrounds. Hello, hello. Oh no, I'm sorry you're not doing the best mentally. That's not fun. Hope it gets better. Yeah, studying is always tough. I do not miss finals time. Not one bit. One nice thing about graduating is like, I don't have to study for a test again. Yay! I hope all the stuff goes well, and that tests and projects and all that are soon a distant memory of, haha, never again for you, my beloved. That's a good question. I don't know if I can answer that question. At least for myself. I mean, I didn't really do a master's so much. I did do additional schooling after undergrad, but that wasn't a master's degree. It was more like a work certificate. Which, ironically, I haven't used that much. Yeah. I can understand it's a tough decision. It's more money for one, which is always like, do I want to keep spending stuff? I can't answer that question. Although I was raised by teachers, I am not one. It's hard. I don't even know what the point is. Hear me babble on about video games, I guess, and fan fiction. Which, there's gotta be better sources for that. At least I would hope so. I remember the fanfiction days before even FFN, and you would just post stuff on archives that you would make in GeoCities. Video games and fanfiction about video games, and video games about fanfiction. Wait. Your time will come. I know school feels like it's overwhelming now, and it's like, I'll never escape this hell. The schoolness, but the day will come when it is all behind you, and instead you will be like, oh shoot, did I pay rent on time? Do I have to order more of this kind of filter for something? That's true. Yeah, I used to make a bunch of like little GeoCity sites whenever I had just like a wild idea in my head. I'm like, I like this fandom thing. I'm going to make a little GeoCity site with a little WYSIWYG editor. That is true, there is NeoCities. True enough. I almost feel like I should make just, a general hub for art stuff for myself, because goodness knows that even in the best of times, social media is not the most reliable. Websites making sites, yeah. That's what you did with GeoCities and Angelfire back in the day. You would just make a bunch of small little websites and with a little, again, with a little WYSIWYG editor, so you didn't really need to know how to code. Okay. I hope your NeoCities goes well. Learn Undertale modding instead. Ironically, I feel like game modding is probably the more difficult thing to learn than HTML. I tried to learn a bit of CSS in school, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. That or any like Java or Python. Like I tried to learn coding and didn't stick in my head. Modding. Undertale modding. Yeah, you gotta hand it to Undertale modders, considering Toby's all like, I don't know how to code, lol. Here's a page of like 2,000 if statements. And on the one hand, if it works, it works. No complaints. On the other hand, at least from what I understand from coding, that's pretty funny. I'm glad that Undertale Yellow is more clean and logical. That one time Toby tried to do 3D. When did he try to do 3D? Fire! Lots of fire. Search the Munch Kid to Undying the Undying and couldn't figure it out. If statements? I don't know. No one understands Toby's code, not even Toby. Fair. Fair and true. There's this tweet. Ugh, X. Starland do 3D, never mind. It's so bad. Sir, your rig, sir! Your deformers! Me too, I'm really glad that Toby moved to Blue Sky. I was like, please move. I don't want to use Twitter anymore. So thankfully he did. My child, you are breaking my heart. Said we just have T-posing 3D tutorial crashing through bricks. Along with realistic goat face tutorial. Okay, fire, fire, fire. Everything's on fire. The roof is on fire. He's in the house. Like carpet. Like carpet. That was a very emotional crash. I wanted more roast chicken and house like carpet. It sadly dropped off. I guess everybody knows it's him now, so he doesn't need to post roast chicken anymore. What about the bountiful harvest? The daily harvest? We salute you, roast chicken era. You were, in fact, in the house like carpet. Like carpet. It does. Oh no. I mean, that's a reasonable thing to be scared of in real life. I would not want things to be on fire. Check it out. I'm house. A sniff. Chicken. A sniff. Doubt. Carpet. It's like, how much stuff can we get out of I'm in the house like carpet? Just indeed legendary. We will always remember you, roast chicken carpet era. I know, it's like, wow, a reasonable thing to be afraid of. When I was a kid, I was afraid of the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer being outside my window. Yeah, where's the theorists who are like, this is secretly about Deltarune? He's talking about the carpet, and there's carpet in Chris's house. This must mean that the secret boss is a roast chicken named Carpet. Oh, that was a different, short. This was the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer short, where, like, the original one. With the big, abominable snowman. Carpet inside house theory. You've heard of Woody from Toy Story being in Deltarune. Now get ready for household carpet being in Deltarune theory. Get ready for it. This came from a shitpost that Toby did. I don't even remember when it was, but basically he, like, took the You've Got a Friend in Me song from Toy Story and kind of, like, remixed it to a bit to be a little bit creepy. Where it's like, I got a friend inside me. Like, it's Toby doing a shitpost. Yeah, it's on Toby's Tumblr. And some folks are like, this means Woody from Toy Story will be the secret boss of Chapter 3. And I'm like, I don't think that's what it means. I think he was shitposting. I think the guy should be allowed to shitpost if he wants. Oh yeah, I'm following it. It is like a food radiation. Yeah, that's what it is. Because I'm pretty sure he made that long before he even came out with Undertale. He used to just, like, you know, make little musical shitposts a lot more often just for funsies. Before Undertale came out and then, you know, got all the attention, it's like, I'm going to limit my social media interaction a lot. So, understandable. He, like, I'll never post to it. I think, like, the Woody thing was the most recent post, and that was, like, you know, years ago at this point, like a few years ago. Homestuck looks at Garfield. Apologies about coughing. Like, I'm sorry, if any licensed character is going to show up in Deltarune, it's not going to be Woody from Toy Story, it's going to be Garfield. Like, he's clearly more of a funny shit poster about Garfield. He literally had, like, a fan art made of Garfield attacking Sans, which is the funniest thing in the world. Oh, the most recent post was about the music video, yeah. And he's done some really good music videos. Good stuff. All of Smash Bros. Well, if there's ever a time where Smash Bros is going to be in the game, it's going to be Chapter 3, because they're at Chris's house, and we definitely know that they've played Smash Bros. Yisho will be canon. You all will see. Secret boss is Yoshi. That's my thoughts. Who's the secret boss? It's going to be Yoshi and or Garfield. Yoshi's like, Chris, you shouldn't have dropped me into the pit. You will pay with your life. Secret boss is the Grinch. No, that's going to be Chapter 4 at Noelle's house. Do they have the Grinch in this universe? Do they have Scrooge? That one Smash 2018 leak. You're a mean one. Mr. Knight. Be a Pache from Half-Life. I honestly don't have really any solid ideas for, like, Chapter 3 secret boss. My shitpost secret boss is it's the bots from Mystery Science Theater. Because they represent, like, forgotten stuff. With everyone like much, I replaced all the other secret bosses with Spamton. Next one is, you know, Spamton T, Spamton. Then there's Spamton C, Spamton. We'll just go down the whole alphabet of Spamtons. They all look slightly different. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think we're going to be able to predict a secret boss, is because it's like, it's something that's like, oh, that makes total sense in hindsight. But we don't actually have any evidence towards it, you know, in a previous chapter. Bacon eggs. Yeah, Spamton A. When are we going to see Spamton A, Spamton back? We were promised that we would get to see the conclusion of the silence ending from the sweepstakes. What happened? What's going to happen to Spamton A, Spamton if you don't spare him? We'll never know. Oh, did you find the friend inside me post? Ugh. It's gonna get a little messy here. Homestuck. Let me see here. Oh, yes, this, yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. The Garfield comic, where John's just saying, Homestuck! And Garfield looks really annoyed. That's really good. The secret boss of Chapter 3 is going to be Homestuck. It's going to be all of Homestuck. All 50 hours of it. Oh, 2019, good grief, that's a long time ago. That's my prediction. Chapter 3 boss battle, secret boss is all of Homestuck. What is this attack? It's Vriska, parentheses Vriska. Yep. In order to beat the boss, you're going to have to read through all of Homestuck. Speedrunner's devastated. Everyone else devastated, for that matter. Hello, thank you for coming. You are coming in on Hometown's on Fire. We don't need no water. You gotta dye your skin gray with Sharpies in real life, or else it doesn't count. You must, in real life, destroy a con with your cosplay. Sean will be able to know. He'll be like, I don't think you've actually read all of Homestuck and dyed your body with Sharpie. No crystal for you. Well, that's the whole thing. You can't fight the Homestuck unless you have the Shadow Mantle. You'll be able to defeat Homestuck with the Shadow Mantle. Finally, we found the secret way to get through Homestuck. We just needed the Shadow Mantle. Take that, Lord English. That's the joke. Homestuck is ridiculously long. Especially because, like, you're getting through, like, the first few acts, and it's like, okay, you know, Act 1's pretty good. I can keep up with this. Act 2, sure, cool. And then as soon as you get to like Act 5 and 6, you're like, what is happening to my life in this world? I tried to read Homestuck and I bounced off at Act 6. I couldn't keep up with it then. It was too much. It was so long. No, Deltarune is a prequel to Homestuck. They were all wrong. They're like, is this a prequel to Undertale? No, you fool, it's a prequel to Homestuck. Live in your despair. Yeah, like, I got through the first half, but just, again, I bounced off Act 6. What I have ended up doing is, I've listened to some read-through podcasts, of Homestuck. So basically, I've had other people explain the plot of Homestuck to me, and that's gone over much better than me attempting to read it myself. Also, it kind of seems like you really... Part of what made the experience so, like, such a big deal, it was how it was coming out at the time. And you can't really replicate that again now that it's done. Yeah, like a live blog of, like, when it was coming out. That would be interesting. Because I feel like half of what makes it, like, such a cultural touchstone was the method in which it was released, basically. Although, good grief, there's no possible way that can be done again, because he was, like, coming out with, like, new updates, like, daily or multiple times daily. No, I don't know how you would possibly do that. That's not a healthy way to make a project. Just, it's really not. Deltarune's Undertale, I imaginary. Well, that makes sense, because we know that Deltarune's about imagination, so it is an imaginary number. But that's not how Homestuck operated, because it kind of operated in the same way that Anthrofractal does, in that it is responding pretty directly, or it was responding pretty directly to reader input. It was a back and forth thing. It was pretty responsive with the audience, so you can't create a backlog in that situation. The Dream SMP. I haven't known much about that. I've heard of it, but I don't know what's going on with that. It's really fun when you can get like a audience reactive thing, but good grief, it's hard to maintain. Make millions of fake reader accounts to rig the response. I feel like that would just increase your workload, not decrease it. Too hard to predict. Okay. Well, are we done blowing up this panel? I think so. We'll blow up all the panels. I am both glad and a little sad that I never got into Homestuck. I had friends that were into it. I'm pretty sure that if I had been into it, that would have consumed my life, and then I may or may not have really liked how it ended. But, I mostly observed from the sidelines. And I was like, dang, a lot of stuff's going on there. Yeah, I got consumed by Undertale instead, so it got me in the end. It got me. I don't know. Honestly, I probably would have been a really good chance I got into Undertale Deltarune even sooner, because like a lot of Undertale's fan base came from Homestuck. Like that's where a lot of the fandom migrated to. Because like when Toby, because like Toby, the reason why Toby did so well on his Kickstarter is because everybody knew him from Homestuck music. Because he made a lot of, like, really big Homestuck music. Like, Megalovania first appeared... Well, first it appeared in his Earthbound hack, but then it also was well known as being, like, Vriska's song. So he was already well known for doing Homestuck music. And then he came out with the Kickstarter for Undertale while Homestuck was in the middle of one of its, like, megapauses or gigapauses or whatever. And so the fans who were like, dang, there's no Homestuck coming out, but oh my goodness, one of the like biggest music composers on Homestuck is making a game, and it looks pretty cool. And that's why I got funded like 10 times over. All the Homestucks went to Undertale, for better or worse. See anything about Undertale before experiencing or playing Undertale? Yeah, that's a little rough. I do think it's definitely best experience blind. Both chapters are out by then. I didn't get to Undertale quite right when it came out, which was in September, but I think I got to it like October or so. October, November, because by then, again, a lot of my friends on Plurk and stuff who were already into Homestuck were some of the ones that gravitated towards Undertale when it came out, and they were talking about it a lot. And I was like, oh, this looks kind of fun. This looks like something I would enjoy. I'll give that a try. And then it rewired my brain forever. So there you go. I went in pretty unspoiled, which was nice. Again, I just knew a lot of my friends were talking about it, and they were just couldn't shut up about it. And just from what I saw, I'm like, that looks fun. I'll try that. And lo and behold, here we are today. Oh no, that's a major spoiler! Oh no! Yeah, a lot of Undertale animations, I'm sure, got people onto it, because YouTube just dominates culture in that way. I know, it'll get you. It'll get you. I'm a little sad that, some people get really focused on, you have to have the correct experience for Undertale. And, that's why Markiplier stopped his playthrough, because people were, getting mad at him for not starting with True Pacifist. When, again, part of what makes it special is that you are going in, with a pretty personalized experience. At least when I first start, my first playthrough, and I'm sure this was the case for many other people as well, I killed Toriel on my first playthrough because I thought, oh, okay, this is, I guess, like Pokemon. We got to wear her down first. And then we can spare her, because just sparing her isn't working. And it gets you. It gets you. And I was like, oh, no. Well, I guess I'll keep going, but that's not great. So I think I got the Undyne ending in my first playthrough, because Toriel was dead. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Yeah, he did get to it eventually. Which is good. But that's pretty frustrating that people were just hounding onto him about, you're not playing it right. There's no right way to play it. That's part of the point. I guess the only worry is, if you have limited time, you kind of want to make sure that somebody sees the true pacifist, because that's where, a lot of the, that's where a lot of the lore lies, that's where a lot of characterization comes through, all that stuff. But, again, you can't really do that. Thank you for subscribing! Thank you, I super appreciate it. Civil War in chat. I know, it's just let people do it. Just let them do it. Yeah. Reasons why when I played Deltarune 3 and 4, I think I'm going to do that on my own. Oh, I need to stop and stretch here before we go on to more fire. Yeah, I'm glad that people understand that now. And my pillow. Go down. The backseaters advice people, and the people hating everyone else in chat. Oh no. Yeah, it's a tough bit if it's part of it is you want to explore the world sort of thing, but you can just easily miss stuff on your first playthrough. I know I did. I keep having, whenever there's a secret boss in the chapters, I have to have somebody explain to me how to get to it, because both times so far I've ended up missing how to get to the secret boss. Yeah, the only quote unquote backseating I got with Amori was pretty much people saying like, hey, you should make sure and do all the little tasks around the the regular world, like the errands and chores, and help people out because that'll be good for the ending, and that was correct. But otherwise, not too much backseating unless I specifically asked for it. And also, nobody told me, oh, make sure you open the door for Kel on the second day. I kind of did that on my own. But apparently if you don't do that, the ending's very different. Yeah. It definitely tries to discourage you away from actually exploring the real world side quests. You have to be like, nope, I'm deliberately going to make a choice for it because it gives you a spook first. It gives you the spooks. But I'm glad I decided, like, I will bear the spooks in case. And it's like, knock on everyone's doors, yeah. Do all the side quests, knock on everybody's doors. Talk to people multiple times. A lot of stuff. Oh no, yeah, oh, that's not fun. Viewers in chat, and you're like, oh, this is awkward, oh no. Yeah, that's not a fun thing. Yeah, what I'm really worried about, at least in chapter 3 and 4, is that that Sham is right, and we literally will not be able to defeat, even if we find the secret boss in 3 or 4, we literally will not be able to beat them without the Shadow Mantle, wherever that is. And we're going to have to do something funky in the future to, like, go back and actually beat those bosses. Where we are right now, just, like, beating those bosses literally will be impossible until, like, the full game's out. I don't know. I'm kind of the mind right now that Snowgrave is not something that happens unless you're working with Noelle. That it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to convince Toriel to burn Undyne. Like, I don't think that's going to be the case. Time travel shenanigans. Maybe. A little different from how it is in Undertale, though. It feels very tied to Noelle. Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch and water and all that goodness. My child, you're breaking my moral compass. returning. Gotta stretch, stretch, stretch. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just of the thought that what makes Noelle unique in this situation is that her whole deal is like being able to break video games. That she is really good at glitch hunting and, you know, finding secrets, things that you're not supposed to be able to do. And that is why we're able to, like, do weird stuff with her in a weird route. Because that is a hidden skill of hers, is breaking a video game. And I don't think Toriel will fall into that same pattern. Heck, like, do we even know if Toriel would join the party? It's like, Noelle we had as a party member as long as Rouse and Susie were not there. I know, I'm definitely concerned for Noelle's sake, if nothing else. I want my cute peoples to be okay. It's fun to put them into situations, but also let the situations finish eventually. We shall see. Heck, I'm not even quite sure if Undyne's going to show up because, I don't know, again, I'm just kind of, people are like, oh, she called the police, so that means Undyne's going to be there, and I'm like, why didn't Undyne actually show up when she was called? Like, Toriel falls asleep waiting for her to show up. What is she doing? You would figure that she would absolutely jump at this. Undyne would not have hesitated. She is desperate for action. Napstablook wasn't feeling up to it right now. She's the day cop, Napstablook's the night cop. Day cop, night cop. Napstablook, sorry, I wasn't feeling up to it right now. Then she's gonna be so mad that she missed it. What do you mean? Somebody slashed her and I wasn't able to do something about it. Yeah, that was such a good setup. Because it really did play out like, you know, back in the thing with a lot of games nowadays is like there are no secrets to find. There are no like super hidden creepypasta hidden routes because everybody like, you know, kind of expects that kind of thing. So, and this was not advertised at all. There was no indication, and there's still not really much indication at all that this is a thing that exists in the game, which makes it like kind of all the more special because it really imitates that kind of like, you know, playground rumors, things of days gone by. Of, oh, if you do this, then it unlocks this secret dangerous thing. It could be a setup for her to find out that Dark Worlds are real. But on the other hand, I feel like we're going to come away from this with Toriel being like, oh, that was just a dream. And I think, I don't know if Undyne would push back against her on that, being like, no, it was secretly real. Like, Gino imitates, but not as much because, like, the No Mercy route, that was advertised in the trailers for the game up front. They're like, you can, you know, do you want to be peaceful to the monsters or will you fight and kill them all? Like, they are really upfront about, hey, you can do this sort of thing. That was not the case with the weird route. No indication that this was possible. No indication that this was relevant at all. That was literally just people trying to mess around and decide and discovering this on their own. So I don't feel like this is supposed to be a parallel to the No Mercy route. I think this is supposed to be imitating, again, like a creepypasta playground rumor sort of thing that you don't think is actually real. Yeah, you do have to deliberately grind. But at least gives you the option for it. It at least suggests that you have the ability to do different things if you want. And that you can be ruthlessly violent. Now you have to grind significantly to specifically get the No Mercy route, but I don't think it's very well hidden. Whereas, again, there is next to no indicator that Snowgrave is a possibility, or Weirdroot's a possibility, except for Lancer being like, what if Noel was a bad guy? And like, that's Lancer, you don't take him very seriously. Yeah, it's something else. I'm a little resistant to the idea of like, oh, this is just No Mercy route again. I'm like, I don't actually think it is. I don't think the point of No Mercy in Undertale is like, you know, yes, if you exhaust all possibilities, then, you know, eventually you will grow distant from these characters that you say you love, just because you want to find out what happens. Yeah, go left, kill things game strategy from there. Yeah, Snowgrave has to, or Weirdroot has to keep telling you how to do it, and then as soon as you like go off that path, it lets you know, oh, you're lost. You didn't do it. Basically, I don't think that Weirdroot and No Mercy are making the same point in terms of gamers. Sorry, gamer, you lost at Weirdroot. You were nice for 1 minute. Now things are normal again. Yeah, there are definitely some similarities. What I definitely find interesting is, like, Undertale acts like it, you know, remembers, you know, I remember your genocides, goes the memes and all that stuff. Whereas, like even if you know, kill a few people, they'll kind of comment on it. Whereas, like, you can completely, you know, almost go through with Weirdroot and then just, you know, balk out of killing Birdly, and, you know, no one basically be like, oh, thank goodness, things feel better now, things feel like they should be, and then everything just goes back to normal and nobody really comments on it. Yeah. And I appreciate that fact. I think that one of the reasons why Undertale and Deltarune work so well as they do is because, you know, if you are the medium is the message thing, that certain messages, you know, are best told, or how you experience a message is through the medium that it's expressed through, then Toby has a really good understanding of, you know, the medium of video games and how to use that to its fullest. And it ends up working very well. It's the kind of thing of like, well, what if Deltarune or Undertale was a movie or a TV show? And it's like, it wouldn't work. It's not the same. A large part of what makes it work so well is that it really leans into the medium. The medium being, hey, you, the player, have a direct influence on this world. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for everybody in the world? Yeah, like, oh, that was such a good line. Flowey calling me out. Oh no, animation kicking ass, no. That's absolutely me. Flowey called me out there. You got me. Flowey as a character is so great because, like, yeah, his whole point is to hold a mirror up to the player and be like, "Hey, I'm you. This is you." And I did like that idea in Device Theory, where if Flowey is basically the player surrogate, the one who is, you know, I am you to the player as a character in Undertale, that Gaster might be that player surrogate in Deltarune instead. That Gaster will be the one to be like, I am you. I understand what you're doing and how you feel. Oh yeah, like I was definitely called, because I've never played the No Mercy route. I've only watched it, so Flowey calling me out. Yeah, that basically if the characters in Deltarune are doomed because of something going on with the Night or Prophecy or whatever, and Gaster is looking at this like, no, I don't think that's very nice. I like these people. I'm gonna fix the universe for them. Like, that's a player surrogate thing. What's up, gamers? Has anybody done, like, Gaster streamer yet? acting like normal streamer is all in wingdings. Nobody knows what he's saying. The Gaster rap. Yeah, I think that'd be a very interesting take on Gaster. If Gaster basically playing the role of Flowey, and that he is, again, the mirror to the player. He's the player surrogate, being like, you like these characters a lot? So do I. We're gonna fix the world. We don't like how this story ended. Green Sands. I just did that comic about Green Sands. I don't know much about Green Sands except that he's green. And he's Sands. He's Green Sands. Oh, did I do this all in the wrong layer? I did. Shoot. Let me take this down a notch. Actually, what I'll just do is I'll do that. Let's rename. You know about as much as we do. I know it was a thing with the last Under event. That's all I know. And people liked it and it was funny. So I'm like, sure, I'll help out on this. This is fun. Great team to work with, though. Everybody got along pretty well. Good experience. Good team. Ooh. Good water. Well, a lot of AUs mentioned. I'm like, I don't know who these are. Oh well, I'm still drawing them. That makes sense. Meme version, just like, what if Sans was green? You have to put, like, you need to get that that glass so you can have Sans there. And Toby's like, watch out, you can make him an AU. You can put a different colored liquid in here. Somebody has to put, like, green liquid. I don't know, AG1 in there. Green bad time machine. How many AU Sanses are there? Yes. How many AU Sanses are there? Don't ask. Forbidden knowledge. What I want is for somebody to do like a 5-hour video essay, like explaining all of the AU Sanses and how they all relate to each other. That way I can get like all the information and, you know, not have to read all of it because it's a lot. I don't know if that's possible though. Yeah, but the frustrating thing about the AU Sanses is not necessarily that they exist, but it's like it's always at the expense of other characters and people assigning like other traits to him that are better suited for other characters, like the never giving up after a battle, that's Undyne. And the I remember your genocides, that's Flowey. That's literally Flowey. He remembers them. That's the point. Oh no, I would have loved Andrew Cunningham doing that. Oh no. Maybe I should join his Patreon or whatever and be like, can I still request that? Please? Please? I did it again. I'm still in the wrong layer. Why am I stupid? Why am I dumb? Oh, good grief. I'm gonna do this again. He only remembers your. He only doesn't remember if he specifically is like, make sure I don't remember, because I will otherwise. Like, gosh darn. That'd be really fun if Andrew Cunningham was talking about that. Now I'm sad. Oh, I guess he can do what he wants. I still need to play his game. His game is out, and it looked fun. So I put it on like my Steam wish list. I gotta give it a try. Oh, so many games, so little time. No, he doesn't remember if the universe is destroyed. But I think that's because he is killed. And that's part of the hard reset kind of thing. Only Kara remembers your genocides, because Kara is kind of you, in a sense. Yeah, Kara remembers your genocides because Kara is your genocides. That's another thing that kind of annoys me a bit. People being like, who is Chris supposed to be? Is Chris Frisk or is Chris Kara? And I'm like, you guys remember Chris came first, right? At least in Toby's mind, like, Chris is the OG, not the other way around. So if you're going to be asking anything, you're going to be asking, who is Frisk or Kara Chris? Because a bit, but okay. Here's my hot take. No shame at all to Frisk and Kara. I love them as characters, but compared to like the rest of the cast in Undertale, they're kind of flat. There's not. They're kind of thin. There's not much going on with them. We have more of a sense of who Chris is and their own character from just 2 chapters so far than we do Frisk and Kara in the whole game. They are very much set up to be like blank slates, and that's good. That it works very well for the story. But in that case, it means like, oh, Chris is supposed to be just like Kara, just like Frisk. And I'm like, but we know very little about them. We know more about Chris as a person than we know about Frisk or Kara. And again, that is fine. Frisk and Kara work wonderfully for the story they're in. But that's why I get a little bit frustrated when I feel like people are trying to work backwards from it, when, by all indications, Chris, at least in Toby's mind, was what came first. And in that sense, that, the human who's the protagonist was adjusted to fit better Undertale's story and mechanics. Because at least it feels like to me like who Frisk and Kara are Chris's roles split across 2 different people. Because with Frisk, they're the human that, goes on the adventure and makes all the friends and does all the gameplay and, meets people and discovers things, and that you, the player, are interacting with. And then you also have Kara, who's basically they are the ones that have history with the Dreamers. They are definitely calling attention to your relationship to the game and how you interact with it. They're the one that's a little bit, weird and off and, isolated, doesn't really like humanity much. Oh. And the thing is, Chris has both those roles in Deltarune. They are the one that's going on the adventures and making friends and stuff like that, and they're also the one that has history with the Dreamers and has a weird backstory we're not sure about. Yeah, that is my guess, honestly, is that Chris came first in terms of name, and then in terms of naming, okay, who is the human you're playing as, it's you know, an anagram of Chris, but we can't make it Risk or whatever. That's going to be kind of weird. So, you know, Frisk. Okay, that works. It's just a little bit of a name change. Yeah, exactly. So in that case, I feel like, yeah, Chris was the one that came first. Who the frisk are you? Wait, I think that's got it. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Man, when am I supposed to stop again? I can't remember when I started. Urethra. I don't know if that's the correct word. Unless that's a meme of some sort that I'm not getting. Okay, I don't remember where that's from. Urethra. It's the correct word, don't think about it. But for some reason my brain immediately went, if you're gonna take that meme further, thought of the toddler show I used to watch as a kid, Eureka's Castle. So it's like, Eureka's Castle, which, no, not right. No, bad. Forget I said anything. Oh, uh-oh. That was a good show, though. I like that show. One thing that I really wish people would bring up more often, because I feel like everybody forgot this, was Toby mentioning that in his... That's about the whole meme? Okay. Okay. That is indeed the meme. Yeah, yes, that's the whole thing. Eureka is, you know, like, haha, ooh, you know, like an explanation of knowledge and inspiration. Eureka, I've done it. I don't remember the rest of the etymology. A urethra is where pee comes out of. So, very, very, very different. Eureka is from Greek. That makes sense. It's not kind of sounds like a Greek name or a Greek one. You're Greek. Congrats, you're Greek. But yes, it's a meme. Yeah, I wish people would talk about the fact that in Toby's earliest conceptions for Deltarune, he was going to have everyone in Hometown be human, and they would only turn into monsters in the Dark World. More like you're Geeka, and not... That's me. I'm just extremely curious if any, like, sketches of Toby's exist of the characters as humans, or if he just started with, you know, their monster selves, because that's what was going to be showing up. That would be more interesting, I'm sure. Yeah, I think he mentioned this in the anniversary stream where they revealed Chapter 2. He's like, yeah, earliest concepts were that everybody in the light world was human, you know, obviously including Chris. And then they would all turn into monsters when they went to the Dark World. And I don't know when that got scrapped, but I imagine it was pretty early on. Yeah, that everybody would basically turn into monsters when they were in the Dark World. I'm assuming except for Chris, and that's part of the mystery of why is Chris not doing that. When do y'all reckon? Good question. I think he said by the end of, like... December, right? Yeah, like late December or something like that. Late holiday season. I hope it's not like, after I'm home for the holidays, because I won't have much internet access, and I won't be able to freak out about it very much if I'm at home. But it might be the case. Yes, make a blue sky. I have abandoned the Twitters, and I am now on the blue skies. Please go there. And the last newsletter, so the next one would be... Oh, crazy week. Crazy week. But yeah, I wonder if we'll get a newsletter like around very close to Christmas. That would not be surprising. Merry Christmas, here's a newsletter. Oh yeah, UTY anniversary stream. I don't know if I'll be able to tune in for that because I'm starting a new episode tomorrow. And usually when I'm in this stage, I can't listen to, you know, videos or streams. I have to listen to music while I'm working on stuff. Maybe I'll be able to catch part of it, depending on how long it goes. Are they... Which run are they doing? Are they doing Pacifist or No Mercy or Neutral? Okay, it was 12 hours. I'll probably be able to catch at least some of that. Announce UY2. I guess they're doing multiple runs then. Which makes sense, it's for charity. Honestly, something I kind of wish with Undertale Yellow, I wish that you had been kind of forced to do neutral first, instead of being able to go in with the knowledge of, I can do pacifist, I'm going to do pacifist first. Like, Undertale forced, pretty much kind of, by necessity, forced you to do neutral first. And I feel like the neutral ending is really fun and strong, so I would have liked it if we did that, and then you could do pacifist or No Mercy. It'd be difficult. Yeah. I feel like Undertale Yellow definitely... Like, obviously, Undertale also kind of has Pacifist as the quote-unquote correct ending, and that's where things feel the most satisfying and wrapped up. The deal with, like, the Undertale Yellow genocide ending is that I don't think there's any reset option after genocide. Because Flowey is dead. He was the one that was facilitating that, and Clover leaves the underground with all the other human souls. So, like, what reason is there to reset and do pacifist after that? That doesn't really make sense. But then again, like, if Clover has the save, and they pretty much got what they were there for, which is the human souls, why would they then go back and be like, actually, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the monsters? Like, maybe you could do, like, a fanfic thing about that, but there's not really much indication that they feel bad for doing a Gina route if you do that. There is no Kara there to be like, oh, look at what you did. Basically, once you start Clover doing that, Clover's like, okay, so what I'm doing. Bye. I do feel like Clover would kind of lean more towards being nice to the monsters and pacifists anyway, since at least in neutral, like, Flowey says, if I did not intervene, you would have just sat around and, you know, stayed with Toriel the whole time, and then died if you tried to leave. So, even though Clover was there to look for the humans, I feel like Clover's natural tendency was to be nice to the monsters. I suppose so. Many interpretations work. It's definitely an interesting situation because it's like, okay, we have some of the same elements of Undertale where it's clearly supposed to be like, okay, where's the line between you, the player, and the character? Or at least they're going to the underground with an agenda. That seems to be the inclination. Let's see. Do I need agenda? Agenda? Sorry, ma'am, not for me. Yeah. Okay. Do I need to stretch now? I think I need to take a little stretch break. I can't remember when I last did my last stretch break. Yeah, I think that's probably the right call, is to be like, okay, the meta stuff we're gonna not do too much with and just focus on characters and story. I think especially if they had tried to lean more into the meta, it would have been a problem because, like, the whole deal with it is that it's not really canon to the game anyway. It doesn't need to be. It shouldn't be. But people get really pent up about that. Yeah. And there are lots of ways to comment on video games without basically saying the same thing that Undertale said about it, which is like, oh, what if you could choose to be nice to people and you did or didn't? Another reason why I wish more of fan games would try different genres, and I guess it's going to be an Undertale green one where it's a cooking game, and I'm like, yes, good. That's what I think it should be. Try different genres. You don't have to do a bullet hell RPG every time. Like, what commentary can you make about a cooking game? That could be interesting to explore. Yeah, exactly. Like, Undertale Yellow was great. I don't really want Undertale Yellow for every human soul. I mean, you could make interesting stuff for as wild and hilarious and absolutely bonkers as it is. Like, it was neat that the Kissy Cutie game was, a visual novel. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. I appreciate you being here. Gotta stretch and get more water. I'm talking so much. My throat. One game that I do really want to play, that I think I put on my to-play poll, is Moon, because Toby mentioned that being a major inspiration in terms of, like, hey, here's an RPG that asks, do you really have to kill the monsters? What does that mean? And it's got kind of this cool claymation stuff going on with it, so I'd like to try Moon at some point. I think I need an emulator for it, but it looks interesting. And then it also has, that interesting, perhaps relevant thought in that in order to, keep things good, to have the best ending, you have to step away from the game. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess with Moon, it's like the hero has already gone on their quest and has done violence, and now it's your job to, fix the consequences of that violence. Although you the player are the one using the hero to do the violence, and now you the player are in the game and you have to undo the violence. Like, that's interesting. So at some point I will play Moon. I basically Dork sold me on it, so now I don't want spoilers. I want to go in with no spoilers and see how it is. So many games to play, so little time. Moon soon. But we're still in the middle of Outer Wilds, which I at least now know I can play without getting sick, so that's good. We'll see how long it takes me to get through it. Okay. Be right back for... Yes, please play In Stars and Time. In Stars and Time is so good! And it's like on sale now, I think. We just had an anniversary for it. You can get a physical copy of it now. Okay, Outer Wilds isn't frighteningly long. That's good. Oh, it just went off sale now. But yes, In Stars and Time, super good. Please play it. I'll be right back for stretch. Alrighty, I am returning. Mortis goes commenting on tier list of indie games about how many dead children they have and saying, "Sorry, I'll try harder next time." Oh yeah, side-scroller beat 'em up for Bravery is good. I was thinking maybe like a fighting game, but honestly, the side-scroller beat 'em up sounds like you could do some interesting stuff with it. Kind of like a, I don't know, you could do some kind of commentary on Contra or something. Stretcher's fine. I need more water, because I'm talking a lot. On Contra or Double Dragon or Perseverance is getting over it. I kind of thought Perseverance would be more like a stealth game. Since Perseverance's whole deal is, you know, sit still to avoid damage. So, like, can you get from point A to point B without being detected? So a stealth game, I think, could be interesting for that. And I'm sure you could do commentaries on stealth games. I mean, different ones than Metal Gear Solid has done. yeah, I said stealth game I think would be good for patience. And then I guess what would be good for, sorry, I mixed those up. Stealth is good for Perseverance. Or stealth is good for patience, sorry. For Perseverance, I guess like a visual novel would be good. Since Perseverance's whole thing is writing. Idle game stuck in ruins. Poor patience. Three lane chase games, but it's access? No! My thought for integrity would be a rhythm game. DDR. What meta commentary can you do on, like, you know, DDR or Guitar Hero? Puzzle game could also work for Perseverance. That's true. Peggle. They could do like a big Peggle game. My thought was rhythm game because Integrity's thing is that they're the ballet dancer. And their thing is musical notes. Perseverance out here playing Professor Layton while Patience plays stealth horror. Where's that one meme of like the Terminator going for the little anime girl? That's Patience. Oh, let's stretch this out a bit. Okay. The kid in Professor Layton was the purple soul all along. I do just like rhythm games. Professor Layton shares at least one letter, maybe even two. Could even be three. I've never played a Professor Layton game. The Pirates has permanently changed my sense of humor. Paris is like, just as planned. Excellent. You can't spell prepared without several letters from my name. Paris is so good. I hope we see him in Deltarune eventually. Upwards. Papyrus, he smells like the moon. Papyrus is obviously gas. Isn't there a fan comic about that? Like taking that totally seriously? Few AUs about that. Okay. You can come up with all kinds of cool things. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I think Forgettable was the one I saw because the art was pretty good. It was good art. Good art. So I should look at that at some point. So much to do, so little time. Hopefully we'll find out what Papyrus' deal in Deltarune is. Because he won't show up for us yet. Now it sounds being like, oh, maybe you'll see him when your brother comes back. Shut up. That's mean. No. You gotta go read it then. Egg salesman. Not too important, not too unimportant. Giving you eggs. I wonder what we need the eggs for. Yeah, I really hope that Asriel comes back before then. Said he'd be back next week, and it's currently like going to be Saturday, so surely it'll be before chapter 7. Deltarune is an egg salesman. Oh, it's working. I'm buying more eggs. This is all just a ploy by Big Toby Fox to get us to buy more eggs. Excellent. No, I've been seeing a lot of egg puns just from work, so there's no escaping from me. Too many eggs. Luckily, Timmy's here to keep track of them for us. So if we get the propaganda from both Deltarune and Full Metal Alchemist, we'll have a balanced breakfast. Or at least, like, half of a cake. Propaganda. No. Bad ending, Chris. You should have gotten all the eggs. How could you miss them? Chris is like, well, I'm sorry, but one of those eggs is literally I have to get killed by a dog in a small car. Why do we have to get killed by a dog in a small car to get just for an egg? Can I offer you an egg in this roaring time, Chris? Chris, I remember your bad omelets. Piles of Chris's bad omelets. Piles of cracked eggs. That's true, that's true. The dog does kill the death screen too, so it doesn't count. Also, weirdly, it's the Undertale death screen, so who knows what that's doing there. Dog's like, get this out of here. Kill death ratio, question mark? Does it count if you kill death? Yes, no. I don't know. It does something, I'm sure. Hometown's not looking so hot. It's falling all apart. I would venture to wager that falcons cannot hear the falconeer and all that. What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. Yeah, it's true. Might be looking so hot. So hot. That was one of the songs we saw. We had at karaoke. I'm too hot, hot damn. In this case, literally. It's a little hard having the fire on a different layer, but I want to make sure that it's easy to separate out if I need to. Fire! Yeah, what do they do in Hometown if there's a fire? Because they have a police department, apparently, that does nothing, because there's never crime except for the wet-nosed bandits, which is crime. But there's no fire department. So if somebody's house goes up, they're in trouble. Maybe they've got very fireproof homes. Father Alvin's here to save the day. Coming with his garden hose. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Like, oh, thank goodness Father Alvin has a garden hose. We're saved. That's true. We still haven't seen the blocked off part of town. Well, I kind of imagine there's like some festival stuff going on back there. That's where we're gonna get the festival. There's got to be some other people's homes too, though. Because like while I was working on the comic with Father Alvin and Garrison, I was like, where is their house? We don't know. Yeah, and also the way out of town, too. We know where the Dreamers and the Holiday family live. We have vague guesses as to where Susie might live. We have a good idea of like some of the. We know where Caddy's and Braddy's house is, and Sans and Papyrus. I guess it'd be cool, but I'm not sure what that would mean. Did I draw this in the wrong layer? Oh, whatever, it'll work. I suppose without the monsters underground, it would just be a nice mountain that we can't get into. I feel like that might be a bit beyond the scope of what they can do. Or have time for, anyway. And also, again, if it's not much point in us doing it, then I don't know. Yeah, so it seems like Snowy lives in the apartments and Susie might also live in the apartments, which is my main issue against homeless Susie theory. I think the implication is that she does have a home, it's just not good. Yeah, we have an idea where Susie lives, we know where Snowy lives, and we know where most people live. Yeah, literally I was like, wait a minute, where is the Boom household? Oh, Birdley. We don't know where Birdley is either. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Birdley is also in the apartments. That can house a lot of people. I don't know. We don't know quite what it would look like. It's clear that Susie is, at the very least... Yeah, we have Asgore's place, too. But I guess doesn't have that much going on there. But it's clear, at least, that Susie is not being fed and does not want to be in contact with her parents. Or whoever's taking care of her. Wherever home is, she does not want to be there. And also may not, even if she has a place to live, doesn't seem to have her own room. Since the implication from her place in Castletown is that, oh, I get my own room? Like, that's kind of a surprise to her. As if she doesn't have that. Honey! Now you have a spike bed and everything. And spike clothes, they're tearing each other up. A fridge with weird stuff in it. But yeah, and it's certainly possible to hide like a bad home even in an insular community. Yep, if you have a very none of my business attitude about it, then that could be a problem. And we literally don't even know who Susie's caretaker is at the moment. Like, is it her parents? Is it another family member? Is it somebody else? Mm-hmm. I feel like we're probably going to get a little bit more about Susie's home life, probably in like chapter 4, or chapter 5, because I think we're going to be going a bit into what Chris's deal is in chapter 3, especially since we'll be at Chris's home and Toriel's there and dealing with some stuff that's obviously on Chris's mind. And then there's Susie's line from that teaser image from forever ago where she's like, Chris, your family's really weird. So I feel like we will have gone through a bit about what's going on with Chris's family. And then that in turn will need a follow-up for, well, what is going on with Susie's family? But she's gonna have to start opening up about that. It's gonna be a little harder. Harder to get her to do, probably. Yeah, exactly. Like in the newest girl thing, she seemed to be under the impression that Toriel would just get tired of Chris one day, which seems to say a lot more about her mom than it does Toriel, since later on she's like, oh, Toriel is actually a good mother, even though I'm gonna keep like bullying you, Chris. And yeah, she seems genuinely worried about what Toriel thinks. She is way more polite than she is with anybody else. She's like, oh, I respect this person. I can't make them mad. I can't make them think I'm... Wait, did I just do this? Maybe I can copy paste this. Will everybody notice? Oh, I feel like I should have done this one first and then copy pasted it back. But let's save myself some time, I guess. Because this is the same thing. That up there. Oh, it's a little bit different. Yeah, I get the feeling that Susie and Noelle might share some feelings about how their moms are not very great. For very different reasons, I imagine, because I don't know if I would say that Mayor Holiday is neglectful, but she is way too stern on Noelle, obviously. And it is clearly a hindrance to Noelle's growth. Yeah, distant is probably the best explanation for it. Yeah. I would definitely I kind of do and don't want to see like their interaction, because like I trust Susie around Rudy, because Rudy seems to be like, okay, he is chill. He wants the best for Noelle, but he is also like not super demanding, whereas I worry that basically Mayor Holiday would look at Susie and be like, well, who's this urchin? Clean yourself up. What are your intentions for my daughter? I don't know if Susie respects Rudy as much as she does Toriel, but she definitely like thinks he's fine. I think she is cool with Rudy. Fire. No, this isn't quite matching up. We're doing our best. That is true. That is true. She's like, what's going on? Why am I being threatened? Susie! It's because of the crush. Open your eyeballs. Yeah, Susie won't disrespect Rudy, that's true. It really does seem like the people she has it out most for is Chris and herself, which is kind of ironic. And it just doesn't feel great about Birdley either, but it's mostly like, man, he's really annoying, not like I'm gonna threaten to kill him. Yeah, that's true. She is still getting around the idea of like, oh, I have friends now. People who care about what I'm doing. I don't know if she's gotten to the point yet where she's like, wait, people can like crush on me? Which is extremely funny if you think about it, because like half the people that we know crush on her. What I really want, again, I really think we need Caddy and Jockington in a Dark World in the future, because there's clearly beef between Caddy and Susie that I do feel goes deeper than just, oh, she made fun of Jockington. And I'm curious what that beef is, because even Susie is like, oh, Chris, I'm not going into the diner, that's Caddy's working there and she hates me, I'm not going to bother with her right now. So there is something there that I feel like is going overlooked by a lot of fandom. Okay. Well, that was an easy one, I guess. On to even more fire. Basically, a lot of stuff's on fire. More and more and more fire. Also, what? Did I miss something? Pizza Pants Night. That would be extremely funny. Oh, that's a lot to keep track of when animating. It's a lot. Ah. That is a significant amount of things happening. Oh, quite a much fun about Birdley's crush. Yeah, that's right. That moment was so funny. Great timing. Everybody got a crush on Susie. Susie's like, I'm the bully. How did this happen? Pizza Pants Dark World character arc. How not to be a creep. What I have seen floating around sometimes the sentiments of Azzy Pants, basically Azrael Pizza Pants ship, which I don't ship, but also that would be really funny. Lock him up, lock him up. And he has all these girls chasing after him, and he's like, sorry, I only have eyes for Pizza Pants. I'm interested to see. I really want to finally see like Azrael in the game, just so like we can confirm, okay, you know, all of Hometown seems to like have this really high opinion of Azrael. Oh, he's so cool and he's smart and he was in track and choir and he's gonna be the coolest guy ever. I want him to come back and like we realize what Chris has known all along, that he's kind of a big nerd. That he's kind of a doofus and a dork. I think that would be good. So it's like Chris has these big conflicting feelings. It's like on the one hand they're like, yeah, I actually care about my brother and I miss him and I want him to come back. And on the other hand, he's not a big cool guy. He's a nerd and a dork. need him suffering college burnout. And he's like, Chris, college is hard. There's something fun with him. That's why what I really want, well, not what I really want, but something I can totally see happening is at the end of chapter 3 or whatever, Asriel will call on the landline, because we keep seeing that phone in there. He'll call on the landline and Tori will answer, and she'll be like, "Oh, Asriel, how are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Is that soon? Okay, we'll see you soon, honey." And she hangs up, and then, like, we never get to talk to Asriel. We know he's there on the other end of the line, but what did he say? I don't know. It'll drive everybody absolutely insane. Funnier in the dark world if he calls us. That'd be really funny. But that's the thing, our cell phone doesn't work in the dark world. So that would be that would be a whole mystery. It's like, our cell phones don't work in the dark world. How is he calling us? The call is coming from inside the dark world. Landlines might, I don't know. Toriel never tells him what's going on. Honey, I think we're trapped in some kind of dream world. It'll be fine though, probably. Majored in dark world cell phone physics. I'm just engineering some dark matter. It's fine. Just thought I'd test it out on your cell phone, Chris, at this exact time. He's like, huh? He has a different carrier. I got Dark Mobile. It just works. Verizon doesn't cover dark world phone calls. Explain to us how the phones work, please. Because it is at least interesting that, like, okay, a lot of different objects you have turn into different things in the dark world. Like, you know, you get your pencil turns into a sword sort of thing. Comb turns into an axe. But the cell phone apparently does not change in the dark world, and also just doesn't work. Why the Spampton song comes on. Appropriate. I want to see Asriel, please. Show us the fluffy boy. Show him to us. It will. Because all we have to go on right now is, you know, his kind of adultish form from Undertale when he's a final boss. Or a little kid version. And I don't think either of those are going to be accurate with him in college. He stole Asriel's money. Feel bad about it. No! Ugh. You would think that the Undertale fandom would be over fat phobia by now. I did like Bisquia's interpretation of Des as being really, really fat. Like she's fat and punk. That would be cool. Honestly, like, it wouldn't be that off base for Asriel to, you know, be chubby. Either, because, like, both of his parents are basically built like fridges. like Asgore's obviously a really big dude. Toriel's a big dude, too. Like, he's probably not a skinny little guy. He's probably also kind of a big dude. At least that is the logical conclusion one would come to. We'll see something eventually, hopefully. I just want him to be a big old nerd. A doofus. A dingus. I'm so curious about the fact that Susie saw into his room at Queen's Castle, which Chris would not let us see, and was like, "This is your brother's room? Lol, hope I never meet him." I'm like, oh my goodness. What was in Asriel's room aside from the evidence that he is probably a scaly? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe like the dreamers are used to giving the really big hugs. It turns out you can't do that to the little human. You're gonna squeeze them. You're gonna squeeze them to death. Yeah. Basically, it's their rooms are based on their search history. So I'm like, oh, Asriel, what were you looking up? Was it scandalous? Was it weird? Does it prove you are not the golden child everyone thinks you are? And like all teenagers, you look at weird, scandalous things on the library PC, no less. Which again, other dumb kids do. Part of me kind of wants Toriel to take on, dang purity culture, no. Part of me kind of wants Toriel to be like, oh, this isn't a big deal. I've done this kind of thing before. And then she explains like she's like appalled to find out that they don't understand the element system yet. And it's like, goodness gracious, how did nobody teach you the element system? Well, I guess I'll have to do that. That's my job. And then she explains whatever the heck is going on with elemental pairs. I think that would be pretty funny. He's ripped. It's funny either way. Would Susie try and make fun of Asriel? I like how our options are like, I want Asriel to be a fat dweeb, and I want Asriel to be jacked. I just want him to be, like, whatever happens, I just want him to be big. I want him to be built like a fridge. Because both his parents are fridges. Just a big fluffy guy. I do not think he will be Ralsei size is the deal. What I feel like is that Ralsei is Chris sized. Which is why I'm like, I think he's actually Chris's soul in there. Because, like, everybody draws him as, like, smaller for some reason. I guess it's, like, a character design thing. But in terms of, like, actual size and stature, he's basically, like, the same as Chris and Noelle. Yeah. 7 feet tall, Asriel. Perfect children, they struggle to uphold the standard, yeah. I think that Asriel definitely has, like, this pressure from, like, his family and the town of, oh, you gotta be this perfect kid. Yeah, I like the mechanics of it. I think would be interesting if it was Chris's soul, but I think that it's supposed to be what Ralsei is supposed to be is more of a reflection of Chris and Chris's thoughts than anything related to Asriel. If I was just, if I was just like my brother, if I was just a copy of my brother, if I was just, good perfect kid, then maybe I wouldn't have the problems I have. Which is why I think Chris is kind of awkward around Ralsei, because it's like, Definitely, I think related to the red horn headband in some way, because the other dreamers do not have pink horns, but Rouse does have pink horns. But Bro got infused with a headband of angst, exactly. A headband of childhood angst. How will he change as the story goes on? At first he's like, no, we can't do anything to, you know, upset people. We gotta be nice. And now he's like, oh, well, I guess we do have to fight sometimes. Well, Susie's not so bad all the time. Yeah, exactly. Like, at least with my theories of like, oh, Rouse is Chris's soul with the red horn headband, and it's like, well, Chris is non-binary. Why is, you know, Rouse use male pronouns? Then part of that is like a social pressure to be like, hey, you got to fit into this binary, and just also trying to emulate their brother. I got a really nice message about that comic though, about the some self-reflection comic on Blue Sky recently, from somebody saying it actually helped them work out their own personal identity and their pronouns. And I really appreciated that. That was really nice. I was like, I'm glad this happened for you. Thank you. Yeah, that is part of Chris's problem. They do not love themselves. We were talking at first about the recent one with Alvin, but in particular this was in reference to the Some Self-Reflection comic, which was kind of the sequel to Deal with the Devil, in which Rouse has a conversation with Chris, and don't know if that came across as well as it could have. I was trying to be a little subtle about it, but basically the reveal was that Rouse has Chris's true soul, and Chris is like, oh crap. So that one is but yeah, there was talk about that again, because it's like, hey, if that Chris is true soul, why is Rouse not using, you know, Chris's pronouns, sort of thing. And there's some differences there. Let's see if I can turn this around. Kind of. Alright, that's close enough. Basically, I just think it would be very interesting if that was a conflict that we didn't know about previously. Because it's like, oh crap, we've, you know, developed this, you know, friendly relationship with Rouse. Fans really care about Rouse. Rouse is the cuteness and all that. What happens if, in order for, what's going to happen to Rouse if, you know, Chris needs to get their own soul back? And what if Rouse is like, don't think we need to do that. It could be very interesting. Gotta get that thing somehow. Yeah. Also, I think I'm close to. Should I go on to the next one? The next one is pretty complicated. I'm just debating how long I should go here. I do have to stop soon to get lunch and take care of Alfie's and all that kind of stuff, and unfortunately rest my voice a bit because it's still struggling with that stupid cough. Drinking a lot of water for it. But I would like to get stuff done. Although this is about 4 pages of backgrounds. 4 out of 9, so that is not bad at all. Yeah, so it might be time to stop in just a bit anyway. So we can do stuff. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here and letting me yappity yap about video game fan fiction. Video game fan fiction. Yeah, here's the choich in Eldritchrune, and here it is getting smashed. Oh no! The Birdly lands on it, so it got smashed. I do that a lot here, at least in this part, because it's hometown getting smashed a bunch. And also talking about fanfiction and video gamey is fun. I like doing it. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. You are close to the end here. I am probably going to stop as soon as I finish this background. But thank you for stopping by. We've been working on backgrounds all day. It's mostly been backgrounds of stuff being destroyed. It's fun to put characters through the trauma. It just is. Like, heck yeah. Here's my little guy, and I'm going to put him in situations. But thank you for following, Blue Scale, as we finish up doing the clean lines on this background, I think. Before, after smash. Oh, man, I have no clue when I'm going to actually finish all of the Eldritchrune ending stuff. I'm at, like, 3, 4, or whatever, and I haven't finished any of them yet, and it's out of 20. It's gonna take quite a while, but chatting to you guys while I make progress on it is pretty cool, and I really appreciate that. I'm glad you started the coloring, too. Oh, I do like this version of the song. It's good. Okay. Have we gotten everything almost? Ah, Christmas. Christmas! I miss doing Christmas cards with people. I used to do that all the time, and I haven't had the time to do that in a long time. I've always been busy with projects and all that. And finishing this background, which I just did. Okay, cool. That's got us through, 4 pages. Next ones are more Smash stuff, all the glass shattering and all that. I'm going to go ahead and change the colors on these, because then that just lets me know that, hey, these are done. Don't worry about them. Change that to purple. Okay, sweet. We got through 4 pages today in about as many sessions. That's pretty good, actually. It's pretty strong. Someday we will get through it all. But yeah, I better, future me, don't worry about this. Present me will take care of it one bit at a time. Whew. Oh. And all that stuff. But yes, thank you guys so much for coming to this morning stream. I shall head off and do the many other things I need to do on this fine Sunday, including hopefully catch a Lapras or something for the Pokemon event. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you. And hopefully I'll be able to do some more of this next weekend too. Probably either more Eldritchrune, or maybe I'll finally be able to get back to the other Eldritchrune comic I was working on. I need to finish the Jevil boss battle. But yeah, progress is very, very good. And I appreciate you all being here to talk to me, and for subscribing and following. You all are super cool. So yeah, I hope the rest of your weekend goes very well. I'll probably be back for more Outer Wilds on Friday and all that goodness. And yeah, you all are awesome. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alrighty, see you later.